Am I having a spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? This is the card. Okay, I was sitting with this question for quite a bit. So before I pulled the card, and what I'm feeling is I believe your spiritual awakening does change you. Um, because I feel like the spiritual awakening is remembering your soul, your essence, your consciousness that's within you. So am I having a spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? It's like what I feel from this is like what is happening within you? What is happening for you? What types of what are you feeling? What is it something external to you that is looking different in your life? I feel like with this, it's like I'm being told it's like, because I do see a lot of pink in this card. And I'm feeling that like you have to, you don't have to do anything. But it's the way I talk, it's okay. It's like you need to come from your heart-centered place, space. Wow. Okay. So you need to come from your heart, the heart-centered place. That's so funny. Okay, I don't say anything without it meaning something. Um, oh, I'll have to delve into that now for you. Okay, so space. Okay, that's where we come from. That's where I need to delve into that. Oh, so funny. I'm laughing. Look at I don't look at the words first because I always look at the pictures. So the way I teach is that I observe, I welcome in the feeling that I get, and then we sort of like land it, but we'll land that question at the end. But it's like the words that have come up on this card. I mean, look at them. Longing for home, homesick, homesick for the stars. And I said space. Didn't even see the words. So am I having a spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? I feel like what it's saying is like you are remembering your home. It's a remembrance more than it is a spiritual awakening because I feel like that's a, and I don't want to go into dimensional consciousness and stuff like this, but like I do believe that that's like it's a big spiritual movement that it's like, oh, you're awakening, like it's like but it's not, it's a remembering. It's a remembering of where you came from. It's a remembering of the space of the stars that you came from, of the planet that you came from. So are you having that? Potentially, yeah. Are there other things happening? So do you have certain symptoms that's happening with this? Not a doctor, go check it with your doctor if you feel uncomfortable or anything like that. Sometimes it can be intense. I will agree with that. So your body needs to catch up. Your physical body needs to catch up with your consciousness. Okay. So what happens is we have all these cells within us. And basically what happens is when we sort of like have a step in our, they call it the spiritual awakening journey or the spiritual journey, when we have a step up in our consciousness, the light, the cells in our bodies, it's made of light. So they sort of like expand because we are more aware and we are, I suppose you could say we are raising our vibration and things like that to actually bring our light body forward. And because of that light expanding within our physical body basically says, oh, not able for this at the moment. So it comes up with different symptoms. So I know I'm going through another stage of evolution at the moment. And the last couple of days, my teeth have been vibrating. Now, this happened a while ago, but just means to me, basically, like it's another step in the evolutionary process, which is your spiritual awakening, which is remembering who I am and where I came from. That's what it means for me. Everyone has it differently. Take what resonates for you. So Am I having spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? Let's see what else needs to come forward. No, we'll work with one at a time. Okay, this is the next card. Ooh, this is the next card. And what I'm seeing from, it's so funny because all I'm seeing is like, oh God, I can't even do this. Space, space. But this is water to me. So I, like I said, not looking at the words because I look at the images first. I look at this is the way I do my OWL method. It's observe, welcome and land. So I actually, I observed the card first. So the first thing that came to me was all the green. And then it came to me like water. But it's like, what I'm feeling is our emotions need to come to the surface. Okay, so it's like whatever you are feeling basically supports you on your evolutionary path. Whatever you are feeling helps you to remember. Okay, whatever you're feeling helps you to remember. I look at the words now. Look at the words. Seeing potential, bringing the unconsciousness to light. And are we not talking about the spiritual awakening journey? Yeah, it's like I see, or I mean, look at the pink and the green, right? So the pink and the green to me always represent the heart space. It represents the heart space because look at the color of the chakra system. Your heart is green, okay? But when you look at the pink, that to me represents love. So you're bringing the love from your heart, cosmic heart, like because we have different layers of our heart. It's when you work from your cosmic heart, that is your ultimate truth. Okay, so is that changing in people right now? Yes. Does it mean you are going through a spiritual awakening, a remembrance, as I'm calling it? Yes. Are you becoming aware more of the things that are happening for you, as in there's pieces coming through you, whether it be in the dream state or whether it be in any other form of remembrance of either a past life or where you've come from previously? Space. Okay. I remember getting this card out in the live. I'm not sure whether you went to see the live. I think it was a couple of weeks ago about the dream state. And this to me is representing like a gateway that is there for you to connect into all that is. And that gateway to me is your heart space. Right? It's the heart-centered space. It's where, like I said, your cosmic heart is your full truth. It's like when you actually tap into your heart, your cosmic heart, that's where all truth comes through. That's where the remembrance comes through. That's what the spiritual awakening journey and stages are into different dimensional consciousness. So like your 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, and so on it's a dimensional consciousness, which means that's within you. It's not external to you, it's within you. So whatever happens within you, you're connected to all that is. This is the portal. This is the gateway. It's leading in. You're connected to all that is. And if you look, you're connected to all these things. Like to me, these lighter orbs, and it's bringing information back out to support you. And yeah, that's the way I feel it works, is you have all the knowing within you. You are the sea of consciousness. You are everything. Do you want to choose to remember? That's up to you. You don't have to. Do you want to remember? If you do, yes. Then will you be changing? Yeah, if you allow it. So that question that I was given, am I having a spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? It's both. If you choose to, if you allow it. Does that mean you stop being human? Sometimes. Oh, I have to say sometimes, because sometimes my words go blah, 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 and I talk in a completely different, like I don't even know. You will sometimes forget the words that you want to say. You will. This is my experience. So take it as it is. I mean, it could happen to you. Sometimes, like I said, the words, you think you're saying something and something completely different comes out of your mouth. You will forget time. You will forget what day it is. You'll forget what month we are. I mean, look how fast things are going at the moment. Does it start like that at the beginning? No, not always. I feel like it does go in stages. So when you're living in the 3D world, which is your everyday basic human life, which is the get up, go to work, school, whatever it may be, live your life as a human until something changes within you. Am I simply changing? Yes, something changed within you to go, oh, I'm becoming more aware now. So things like that. What happened for me with that is I was given little steps along the way and I didn't realize that's what it was. So I was given the law of attraction, the secret about the law of attraction. I was given, that was back in 2014, something like that. I think the biggest thing that happened to me is after my mum passed that late in 2009, went to do an angel course and seen a few things that I was like, okay, but then started remembering things from what happened in my past. Okay, which is all part of the journey as well, which is a different thing that's going into. But then the biggest, I suppose you could call it, people saying, oh, he's not awake, she's not awake. That okay, so people called it the awake or truther movement. So when 2020 came around, and we all know what happened then, my remembrance came online even more. And it was a case of like, I feel like there's certain steps that we all go through, same but similar, possibly in a different way, but similar, to get us to where we're moving to, which is full unity. Okay, unity in everything. I feel like because we know that there is an evolutionary process. Get your words right, Zoe. Culture. Sometimes we want to force it, sometimes we want to rush it. And I feel like if we do that, you're not experiencing the process. You're not experiencing it enough to be able to process yourself in your own body, which can then cause even more physical symptoms. So it's like you'll get to a stage where we call the 4D spiritual movement, which is the I believe in the universe. The universe will like provide for me. Went through it. Gonna win the lottery. What else is that? There's I went on TikTok, you've probably seen, and on here as well, with all my cards. Now I do use cards. I use cards because they're visual for me. So I could have come on here and said, am I having a spiritual awakening or am I simply changing? And I'd be like, yeah, both. That would be a very short video, wouldn't it? So I use cards as tools to actually help me to get more information through. So this is saying to me is like, don't rush everything. You have all the tools and the knowing within you. It's just that, like, if we try to force it, if you try to force something, you're pushing it away. Okay, that's what the law of attraction is. Because I don't have it, I want it, which means I don't have it, which means, oh, okay, I'll give you more of that. The law of attraction. And your vibration saying, because they're in sync, your vibration then saying, okay, I don't have it. Like my frequency is like, no, don't have it. So I'll provide more of that for you. Okay. So when we force something, it doesn't work. You have the key to work your way through those dimensional consciousnesses. You have your way to work through those stages, levels, whatever you want to call it. So I feel like it's saying you just need to allow. You need to allow the unfolding in your own. Put it this way, you'll never be. I was shown certain things and I thought I was ready. I was like, yeah, bring it on. I want to know. I want to see. couple of things happened for me. One, I was taking a shamanic course, part of the 4D thing. We took a shamanic course, not dissing that, because do you know what? I feel that everything that people go through is part of their journey that supports them moving forward. Um, so yeah, I was in the shamanic course, and we're taught to go through the 4 stages, the 4 north, south, east, west, different animals, things like that, right? I got to a stage in one of them as an opening of my circle, where I felt my heart beating like a drum. And I was like, I stopped for a minute, but then carried on. And the teacher was like, hold on, what happened just then? So I explained, and they went, go back. So I went back to this, and what I seen was like, do you know the way you see in the movies where you see like a rainbow piece, like a slither, but it's like opening up to go into another world? That's what I see. And I was like, whoa. And then when I stayed with that, it was like a beating of a drum in my heart, but it slowed down. Okay. And it felt more comfortable for me. Carried on with that. That's fine. I think it was not even a week later, I was in my dream state. And I remember when we're in our dream state, what happens is our soul, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, leaves our body. Okay. It's astral traveling, things like that, whatever you want to call it. I think that's what they call it. Is our soul leaves our body. And what happened for me this time was I see my soul leaving my body, and I crap myself. I didn't expect it, because I was like, bring it on, bring it on. So they're like, yeah, okay. No. So she crapped herself. And in a way, I felt like I pushed myself back, as in like, oh my gosh, that's not happening for me now. But I feel like what that did for me was actually, that's a belief, because I remember also waking up one day, this is like a few years previous to this, where I did wake up in my human body, but my soul, my consciousness was external to me, and it came way back in. And I remember that too. I wasn't scared at that stage, but when I felt myself being taken, I was like, woke up, crap myself. Anyway, so don't force, what I'm trying to say is, don't force your spiritual awakening. Don't force I need to get to the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. Don't force it, because it will happen when you least expect it. It's happening within you already, because you already have that knowing. When you have the physical symptoms, the teeth vibrating, the back pain, sometimes my skull cracks. I don't know. But anyway, these are things that have happened for me. So let's see what else needs to come forward. Okay. Why am I laughing? Because I have 2 channels. You may see me doing 2 different things, and they're sort of interlinked, but the other one is more based around, it's like the spiral. Okay. The spiral of life, I'm going to say. This is what he's just like made me say. This one is, I want to help you and support you via the cards to get you to, you don't have to use a tool. For me, I use a tool because it's easier for me. If you want to learn how to do that, like I said, I have the OWL method. There'll be a link in the description below. Not a problem. My other channel is this, the spiral. It's the grow, align, prosper. It's the gap. It's the gap between where you are now to where you need to be. And it's all based around inner safety, like nervous system, things like that. Okay, you can go check that out if you want to, growalignprosper.com. But that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about helping you and to support you. Everything's always linked anyway, no matter what. It's just, I just feel with that one, it's more of a calm than it is the oracle cards. Okay, because I don't use oracle cards over there. So I knew what they said, Wizard of Awareness. And that's what that is all about, is being aware. Okay, that's what my other channel is about as well, is noticing and observing the things that are happening for you. So as we're going on this journey, there will be times It's called the law of rhythm. There's 12 universal laws. You can go and check them out. It's the law of rhythm. And basically what that means is there'll be times when, like I said before, for me, it's like I was being shown these things and all of a sudden I stopped, and I thought I stopped it for myself. But what I realized afterwards, knowing about the law of rhythm, is you'll get to a stage on this spiral where everything is happening and you're moving up and up and up. So think of it 3D all the way up to, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, whatever it is. I don't know how many levels there are, but anyway, doesn't matter. It is what it is. So like this level, you're going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden you hit a barrier and you're like, nothing is happening. I'm like, where am I going wrong? What am I doing wrong? And we overthink everything all the time. And it's like, the law of rhythm says that everything is a cycle. Okay, so when we're going around this spiral and we come to a halt, it's like that pause is basically saying we're getting you ready for the next big jolt up. Okay, so it may feel like you're standing still, or it may feel like you are nothing is happening in your life, but that just means it's a good thing. Okay, so these spirals are saying everything works, ebb and flow, cycles. I mean, look at all the cycles that we have around us, the moon cycle and things like that. So like seasons that every year, it's like everything is ebb and flow. So when we get to that stage, it's like, don't panic about it. Just know that like you're basically getting prepared for the next level. What else do we need to know? Yeah. Okay. So as part of, and I'm not a big one for this, and I've got to be honest, whatever you are going through, whether it be your things are changing in your life, and this can be hard too, because that also means that like for us to be able to go to that next level, sometimes people, places, situations need to be released, let go of from our life, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes, well, most of the time we have to get it out of our system. So one, you can talk to a friend, people who may not necessarily understand you, but people who are not going to judge you, and people who are not going to give you advice, because that's probably, unless that's what you do for a living, but that's probably not the right way to go about it, because what you don't want and why you want to or need to get it out of your system is, once it's out of your system, it means it's flowing through you, which is what I feel this is the journaling. Okay, so writing down how you're feeling that day, what you're doing and whatever you're experiencing, anything like that, because once you get it out of your system, and like I said, you can voice clip it and don't send it, you can do whatever you need to do, but you need to release that from your system. And it's saying a strategy is the journaling. So as part of your spiritual awakening or remembering who you are, journaling will help you, because it will bring things up that will actually support you on your journey as well. It's like, think of it like most people have said, like a jigsaw puzzle. It's like there will be pieces that you've seen in your life from the past that only clicks now. That happens. I'm telling you, that happens a lot, which is probably why people say journal, because you can look back on it. But one of the things that happened for me, I was living in a different country, and my daughter was only a couple of years old. So I was in my own house, but every Sunday we always had Sunday dinner at parents' house. So I was on the phone to my mother that morning, and I said, now I can't remember, my daughter's a couple of years old, so like I'm talking about 20 odd years ago now. We're talking about when I started to realize things happened 2001, so 8 years in between. Okay, 8 years in between, that's probably about right, or just after 8 or 9 years. That took a while to work out, didn't it? The person who was good at math at the time. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so things happen from the past. So there I was, phoned my mum, asked what we were having for Sunday dinner, and she said to me, now I'm talking like we lived a good 15 minutes drive away from each other. So I asked what we were having for Sunday dinner. She said chicken, and I went, oh yeah, I can smell it. And she's like, what? And I was like, I could literally smell the chicken dinner, and only now do I know that's what's called. How did I figure that one out? But I could literally smell Have you ever been around somewhere like, and you've been somewhere? So I was working in a shop, and it was a small shop, and I could smell like bleach and stuff like that. And I was like, or cleaning products. And I said, have you just been cleaning your house or something? I said to, because there's only one or two people in there. And I asked them, and they were like, no, but I could smell the smell. Have you ever been somewhere that you've smelled something and you're like, where's that come from? Okay, so it's that type of thing. Okay, where was I going with that? I don't know. Oh yeah, the journaling. So it's like make a note of everything that happens for you, even if you think it's like weird. It's not. It's like when you realize what's actually happening, then you'll be like, oh, because every time I go through something, or I remember another piece of the puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle, that's the saying, you're putting the pieces together. And it's like, wow, yeah, that happened to me back then. That's what that was. I thought I was mad. When you go through the phases of the awakening and changing, you will notice that there's a stage in your life where you love exponentially everything and everyone. And sometimes we close ourselves off to love as well, for fear of being hurt and things like that from the past. Or people thinking that you're nuts or whatever. I don't know. Like, wherever it may be. But it's like, I need to ask this question of why. Why do we go through that stage? Why do we go through that stage of love bombing people or not able to receive love? Why is that part of the awakening journey or the spiritual awakening journey, I'm calling it, or the remembrance? Okay, so this is the card I got. And what that's saying to me is we are going through it that way because everything comes from our cosmic heart, like it's what I said at the beginning. Everything comes from our cosmic heart. That's our truth. That's where everything resides. Okay, all our knowing, our inner knowing, all the consciousness, all the essence, all the whatever you want to call it. Everything is within us, within that cosmic heart. So the loving and stuff like that. That's basically this is the space we are moving into. Okay, so when we go through our stage of spiritual awakening, and the change aspect of it is like, I'm not saying you weren't a loving person, but what I'm saying is the love will overflow from you. But we want to give that love to everybody. And what this is saying is like, we're not accepting it back for ourselves. But this is where unity comes in. It's like, we have to embody that whole aspect of love before we actually move forward and giving it to everybody else. So the analogy that I've been given more recently is like, look at the tarot. Do we fill our own cups first, or do we give it out to somebody else? Do we fill our own buckets? That's the analogy I was going to use. Do we fill our own buckets before we give to other people? And most of the time it's not, because when you get to that stage of realizing that you're going through this awakening journey, this remembering journey, the spiritual awakening, it's like you just want to love bomb. You want to give it to everybody. Look what I can do. Look what things like that. But we have to pull that back in. We have to basically put our love back in a cage until we're ready to open it, to do it the right way. We have to fulfill our own bodies. And I say bodies because we got mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical bodies. We have to fulfill those bodies first before we can start directing or helping, supporting other people. And I bring this back to this movie all the time because I think it's a brilliant representation of cosmic heart and what you can do with your cosmic heart. Go and watch K-pop Demon Hunters. They use their cosmic heart everybody in the audience says exactly what is happening and what can happen. Okay, but if you're bringing that heart space from fear, if you're bringing it from hate, if you're bringing it from the lower vibrational, like anger and things like that, that's what you're projecting onto other people, because our frequency emits out to other people, whether you know you're doing it or not. It happens. Okay, because everything's energy. So if you know that you're working on yourself and you're overflowing your own four bodies with love and things like that, that's where you're emitting out. Go watch that film. I think it's brilliant. And do we need to know anything else to do with, am I having a spiritual awakening, or am I simply changing? Simply changing bit. Okay, we need to get into, because I've spoken a lot about the spiritual awakening or remembrance of who we are and where we came from. It's like am I simply changing? Okay, so I want to just tap into, am I simply changing? Let's see what comes forward for that. Can you see the way? Okay, so these are, I know it's building blocks, right? Okay, so see these blocks, we're building the foundation, but you see these as sort of like integrating into her. Yes, we are changing. That's what that's saying to me. We are changing. Our bodies are changing. We're changing from, it's like, I'm seeing it as like the, the way the TV gets distorted and stuff like that. It's like that's happening within us to, like I said, we've got 4 bodies, or I can say 5, because let's forget about the 5th one at the minute. 4 bodies. That's another time, another day. I'll bring that up another time. We've got the 4 bodies, and basically your spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical body. So the emotional body, this is the way I've been taught it, right? This is the way I've been taught it, is your emotional body. It's sort of like goes in a circle. Okay, so we've got the 3 bodies around the spiritual body is our whole essence. So the emotional affects your physical, and your physical affects your mental. So your mental affects your emotional affects your physical, goes in a circle. That's why you have to balance all of them, and your spiritual body is then everything else around. So this is saying to me is, yes, our bodies are changing. There will be times that basically you will not know what's going on for you. You will think that, and I'm not saying don't go to the doctors, like I said, go and do whatever you need to do for you. Because sometimes you may just need to go to the doctor. There are things that happen for your body, which is why we really need to pay attention to our body. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what can I do? What is it trying to show me that I need to work on or transmute or release from my body? Okay, so yes, our bodies are changing. I've got this out. The water. This is what I'm seeing, the water. Our bodies are changing. So it's telling me there. Something else came to mind first, but now it's telling me the water, the water. Do you drink water? I used to be like, I hate water. No taste to it. It's horrible. Blech, like this. But now I'm like, actually, especially when it's hot, I drink my water. But our bodies are made up of what, 75 or 80% water? I don't know, something like that. I'm not a scientist. I have no idea. So what I've also been taught is that, and you can go and look this up, there's a doctor, something or other, I don't know, that if you just go up and look at the vibration of water, you can change and program the water for something different. Okay, so anytime that I have water now, I hold my water bottle, or if it's or something else, whatever I'm drinking water wise, and I program it for whatever I need that day. So most of the time it's for ease. So to allow whatever is my body is going through to make it easy for me. I sometimes program it for connection. So whether it be connection to other human beings, whether it be connection to galactics, whatever it may be, for connection. Sometimes I do it for vitality. So I want my body to feel really I can't even say it. I want my body for you know what I mean, for vitality. Oh, I can't help myself. See what I said, human being, whatever. So that's what I do. I actually program it, because what happens then is when that water goes in your body, it programs the rest of the water in your body. Do I program it to lose weight, stuff like that? No, because but talk to your body, tell it what to do. That's why the water came up. It was originally for something else, but we'll see if that comes through. We'll see. What we're talking about, are we changing? Yes, our bodies are changing, and we can help it and support it along the way by drinking the water. Oh, there's another thing. Okay, that's another thing. Water. when we get to a stage of, because I felt like I was nearly doing it then, when we get to a stage of going to the higher dimensional consciousness and we're connecting in with higher vibrational beings and things like that, sometimes we get an overflow of water in our body. So whether it be saliva or excess sweating or something, I don't know, mainly saliva, I'd say. It means that, but what do you do about that? This is the water thing as well. Is like there's a thing, your lymphatic system is getting blocked that way. It's like an overflow of it. So it's just to do your lymphatic drainage. That's what that's all about. Okay. And like I said, if there's anything, like I know that's mermaids and dolphins, it's all about water, but it's like if there's someone that you need support with on anything that's happening within your body, like I said, go and speak to an expert, speak to either a doctor, somebody who's going through it or gone through it, connect in with a group of people who, we always say like-minded people, but like it's the people who, I'll tell you why, because I remember having a reading a while ago for myself, and this before I did it all for myself, and it was like, you need to be with a group of people who basically you resonate with and who understands what you're going through. And I was like, well, how am I going to find them people like this? I was like, but 2020 brought all that up. I was as part of a group of people, worldwide, global company, that basically at the time there was a lot more truther type movement things in it, but then wanted to bring the spiritual type movement as part of it, but then something felt a little bit off for me, and I found another group. And this group then, because we evolve, we connect in with different people and different groups. So I found a different group, and well, I found one person first, and she's still my mentor in fairness. And this group basically are the people who are remembering and realizing, and they're working on themselves. So this group of people supports me and my journey. And I don't mean I just go blabbing everything that happens to me to them, but they understand. If you had to talk to somebody, they'd understand exactly where you're coming from. Whereas with the last group, if I had to try to do that, some of them would be understand, but like the majority of them are just wanting to know who's going to save me. Well, you. This is saying sometimes we need them people around us to support us and to help us. I'll have a little plug for myself if you want to go through anything like that. I'm not saying that I'm a group of people, but if you want to go through a session with me to see where we're up to and what we can do, reach out. There'll be an email or something down below or a link somewhere to actually for you to come work with me. Little plug, why not? Okay, anything else that I need to know about Am I Simply Changing? Yes, we're changing. Okay, our bodies are changing. You may see different parts of your body changing. I've also heard that, like, based on the energy, sometimes you can lose weight, sometimes you can gain weight. Now, I'm not saying excessively weight, but like sometimes it could feel like there's a couple of pounds gone on you, and other times you'll feel like you've lost a little bit of weight. The energy fluctuates, so does your body. Okay, so just be wary of that too. Is there anything I need to finish up with? Okay, so the question that I would ask to embody this, because this is where I feel like most card readers fail, no disrespect to them, and because this is just the way they were taught. Same as me, but I've learned different things along the way, which is why I've said this, is that we need to embody the information that we've just been given. So we're asking, am I having a spiritual awakening or am I just changing? So the question I would ask for that, based on the information I've just been given, and I can pull another card for this, is what is it that I already know that I haven't yet acknowledged? What is it that I already know that I haven't yet acknowledged? Okay, so do you remember I pulled this card and I went, there's something else I was going to talk about, but I don't know whether I should or not. Guess what? some of you people, human beings, the majority of, oh my God, the majority of us came from Atlantis. Don't even know what the words say. Lost lands. Oh my gosh. Soul memories, you've done this before. What is it that I already know that I haven't yet acknowledged? Now, I do this for a collective reading because it's going out on YouTube, but I also get these messages for me. So am I having a spiritual awakening? I know I'm going through that, but I call it remembering. Okay. Am I simply changing, or am I simply changing? It's both, because your body's changed. We've gone through all that. But what is it that I already know that I haven't yet acknowledged based on this is that you're remembering where you came from. We're asking you to remember where you came from because you have the knowing within you. And I know there's part of me, and it's probably part, like I said, the majority of people, there's some Atlantean DNA in there somewhere. Okay. Is that being activated right now? Possibly, which is why the water's all coming up for me. Yeah. Because we'll get into like DNA strands and stuff like that in another video. But anyway, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, and I'm feeling like yeah, Atlantis. There is a lot of energy around for Atlantis at the moment, the Atlanteans, which the ancestors of them are called Valari. This is what I believe you need to embody. The energy and the technology, and which is why AI is about, is because that Atlantean energy is coming back. And this is a knowing that you already know, but you haven't acknowledged it yet because we're not aware of the things that are happening for us. So if you're questioning, am I having a spiritual awakening or am I changing? Then the answer is yes. You are having a spiritual awakening, a remembrance of who you are and where you came from, spiritual awakening. Am I simply changing? Yes, because we are moving into unity. We are moving into an age of advanced technology. We are moving into allowing us to feel our feelings and acknowledge our feelings, should I say, more than, well, feel them as well, but like acknowledge our feelings more than suppressing them, because that's what had been happening. So what am I? Oh, that's a strong one. I feel that like that's a strong one. What do I already know that I haven't yet acknowledged? Atlantis energy, Atlantean energies are here to support us in our evolution. They are here to guide us to remember where we came from. That's just one civilization. I don't know if they heard that bird outside there. They're another civilization, the blue and gold avian. But I feel like at the moment, the Atlanteans wanted to come through. Okay, guys, that's it. Let me know your comments. What are you going through? What do you need to, if there's any questions that you want me to answer, put them in the comments. Whatever you're going through at the moment. And I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm going through this and it's loads of shit and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we all go through that. I understand that. But what I want you to do is go in and recognize it for you and how you can transmute that energy, because this is here to support you on your evolutionary path, on your path to remembrance, on our path for unity. Thanks, guys. I will see you in the next video.